Welcome to Warrior Class.
With instructors whip ass.
And you will too if you pass.
I'm Balogun OJ Tade. I'm the master of the African Martial Arts Institute, also its technical director. This is my 49th year of training, my 34th year of teaching. I'm also a prepper, which means I am prepared to survive natural and man-made disasters. That skill came from my military skill. I'm former Special Forces in the United States Army. Unfortunately, you're young and you do things. I am a priest, which we call an owl of Ifa, which is the African spiritual tradition that comes from the Yoruba of Southwest Nigeria. I am a father, I'm a husband of 20 years. It'll be 21 years this December. I am the father of 7 daughters, 1 son. From my youngest is a daughter, though. My second youngest is my son. From 32 years old, my oldest daughter, up to 12 years young, my youngest. But you wouldn't know that because she's 6 feet tall now. Okay, so you wouldn't know that she's 12, but she's 12.
It's a lot of churn.
And I've got 5 grandchildren. All right, so you got a lot of children's around here. Okay. What else? That's about it for me. Oh, I'm an author. I happen to be an author of 44 books, I believe now.
Just happen to be an author for about 40 something.
So, and that's fiction and nonfiction. People know some of the nonfiction stuff like African Warriors Bible, which he's on the cover of with me. Google says my most popular books are the African Warriors Bible, this fiction book, The Beatdown, and the Urban Survival and Preparedness Institute manual, the USPI manual. Now, the USPI manual and the African Warriors Bible, I can definitely concur with that. Those are my 2 most popular books. I think my most popular fiction book is not The Beatdown. It could be, but I think it's Moses, the Chronicles of Harriet Tubman, but I don't know. So that's me. Belay, what about you?
So Ogunbile, I'm probably the reason that the book that I was on the cover of is so popular. I think I'm probably. I'm also an instructor. I'm an instructor at the African Martial Arts. I'm not a master instructor. Soon to be full instructor at the African Martial Arts Institute. I've been training for almost about 8 years now with Baba. Also a father. My daughter, she trains also, 15 years old. She has been training since the COVID, really off and on, like a lot of people. But I'm a wellness consultant. I'm also a prepper, not as advanced as Baba, but I'm a USPI alumni. That's the Urban Survival Preparedness Institute. So I also do prep. I'm also an actor. I do some acting, and Baba's also a filmmaker. So we have some things in the works going on.
Ice Cold Carter.
Yeah, we got some Ice Cold Carter things going on. So I do that as well. So that's pretty much me. I've been in Atlanta since the late 90s, 2000s. I'm from North Carolina originally. I started wrestling. I always had a martial arts, always wanted to get into it. I used to fake like I did it as a kid. Me and my cousin Lynn, which we still cool to this day. We used to fake martial arts in elementary school. Then I wrestled in high school. I got into some of the Asian martial arts, but it wasn't until I got into African martial arts that I really fell in love with it and got a real understanding of what real self-defense is, self-protection, and being a warrior is all about. So that's my spiel.
And I'm Amaniki. I am an assistant instructor in African martial arts. I've been training for 4 years. Also a comedic yoga basu, mother of 1 wonderful son. And I would
Who
say
also trains.
who also trains. He's been training for a little longer than I have, maybe about 4.5 years. He actually it's gonna be 5 years.
Mhm.
It's about to be 5 years. Yeah. So bravo to that. My reason for getting into martial arts in the first place, which I did some Asian martial arts at first as well, was because of my son. I was interested in getting into them. I never took any martial arts growing up, so I wanted to see what it could do for him. And I was impressed by what Asian martial arts did for me at the time that I was getting into them. So um, I found African martial arts actually after I found comedic yoga, and it's been fantastic. It really makes you feel like you can defend yourself, not just that you're doing practices and in class, but that you can actually take that out and be able to defend yourself even from the first day that you have a class. Doesn't You don't have to train for years to feel like that you took something away that you can really use. So that's it.
We also have a fourth host, Cody Whiteman. You all have seen Cody if you've seen us on the Remix Morning Show on Thursdays. Remix Morning Show is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but we have a segment on Thursdays called Technique of the Week. And Cody Whiteman is the Bob. You'll see him later today. Bob means body opponent bag, I believe, and it's a bag you train on that looks like a white man, thus Whiteman. So he's Cody Whiteman, and Cody will have some things to say on the show a little later, and we'll have some things to say to Cody. So shout out to Cody. He'll be here in a little bit.
He'll be speaking on behalf of all the Bobs.
All the Bobs and Billies and Chads and all those other
all over the world.
Yeah.
Hunters.
Right, exactly. Now, part of what we do here in Warrior Class, everybody knows we're going to be teaching self-defense technique. We're going to be teaching some prepping hacks. Okay. We're also dealing with news that is important to and of interest to warriors. So we're going to start off with some news. Billy has some news to share with us about what's going on specifically about warriorhood, and we'll give our take on that once Billy enlightens us.
All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the rise of Moors organization, rise of the Moors. I know that most of us know what happened. It was a highway incident, basically a standoff last weekend. A group of men who were part of a long, intense highway standoff in Wakefield over the weekend ended up a big standoff basically happened with the police. They were stopped. They had weapons with them. The police, even though admitting to be trained to supposedly handle who they quote unquote call sovereign citizens, which we know people that knows any type of thing about law knows there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen, but that's what they use to kind of title certain I don't know what you call it. Basically, you want to call them black nationalists or supremacists or whatever, but they want to start classifying them as such, so they call them sovereign citizens. So even though they are trained to handle them a certain way and know that they move a certain way, they didn't do the de-escalation that they normally would do, and instead, the police officer that stopped them called for backup. He seen them with weapons, and they ended up blocking them off the highway and apprehending them. So as of now, because a lot of people think, when they think about Moors, they think, they know things that keep them out of jail, out of court. They're going to say the things that's going to keep them, out of jail and out of the courtroom. But in this particular case, they were apprehended, and now they're being held. They had an arraignment hearing that on the 6th. But what they're saying is they're holding them in what's called a dangerousness hearing, and a dangerousness hearing can happily shorten after an arraignment on criminal charges. So in Massachusetts, they got this statute that allows the court to jail the defendant up to 120 days prior to the trial without bail or conditions of release. If there is a clear and convincing evidence that no conditions of release will reasonably assure the safety of others or the community upon finding of dangerousness. So there was a request for this type of hearing from the prosecutor. Basically, they filed by the prosecution at the arraignment of the first appearance. And it's basically that's what's happening right now. So basically, they holding them basically without them getting a trial, a chance to say anything. They're making them take attorneys. They're doing all the things that Moors are generally are not or against, that they don't want to do. They want to represent themselves. They want to represent each other. They don't want to have to take public defendants and things of that nature. So this is what's happening. So I don't know where we want to dive in on this. How do we feel? How they should have maybe handled the situation from the beginning, or do we just want to just say this is what's happening in this particular situation?
Well, do you have anything to say, Monique?
From, I guess, a warrior standpoint, it seems like they maybe could have been. I haven't read a lot of the articles, but I think one of the things that I saw that seemed problematic to me was that they were pulled over to the side of the highway, I think refilling fuel or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That probably could have been handled differently, and that would have avoided the entire situation. And of course, as we learn in African martial arts, the highest form of martial arts is avoidance. So they might have been kind of pumped up, since they were going on their trip. So they just decided to jump out and refill the gas, but they could have handled it more strategically, I think.
Yeah, I think they wanted to avoid the gas stations, but they maybe should avoid being out on the public highway, is what you're saying.
Right,
armed and dressed
area, or someplace where you're not going to draw attention to yourself when you know what you have inside of the vehicle.
I got a couple. One thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You got semi-automatic rifles, handguns. You got military gear on, and you stop on the side of the road to refuel. That's not the brightest thing to do. Number one, you think that you can talk your way out of these things. You live in a lawless society. Some that has worked for a few people. Man, I was born and raised in Chi-Town. The police pull up on you, you're on the side of the road. Now here it's more free with firearms. Chicago, you better not even, if you are caught with a firearm there, right? And you're a security guard and got a firearm, that mug better not be on you. It better not be in the car, like in your dashboard with ammunition. Ammunition better be something in the trunk or something. You're going to catch it. So certain places, particularly in the north, so they were up north, Massachusetts, right? They don't play with those kind of things. They're not as free, if you want to use that word, with firearm usage and carrying and all of that nature.
Liberal.
Right. They're not as liberal with that. You're on the side of the road. And in this lawless society, don't think you can just talk your way out of everything.
That's my thing, bro.
But see, they've long believed that, right? They've long believed that they could do that. The Moors,
And there's different types of Moors. So
certainly that too,
right? So
right.
We're talking about this particular,
but this group. But one thing I don't like, and that we got to be careful of, and let us take note of, is everybody. Because you said standoff, because that's what the news is saying. It was a standoff. They're already positioning these brothers as being standoffish against the government. How did a standoff and none of them pulled their arms? You know what I mean? These dudes were not standing off against the police. There's been some white folks who stood off against the police.
Right.
But
they set the picture.
But right, they already painted the picture. So if they got to move on them, they encounter them again, and they will be encountering them again. Believe that. Then they can move on them because they've already set up. These dudes had a standoff with the police.
They showed them in the paper. That's why.
But see, these brothers don't. They're probably not worried because they feel they could just talk their way, out of it. They want to represent themselves in court, but once you're in court, you're already a captive. You're a captive of the state once you're in court. So how much talking can you do? Only how much they allow you to do.
And that's why the highest level is avoidance. You don't.
Right.
If you really on your paperwork and all that stuff, you stay out of the courtroom, because once you're in the courtroom, then you're on their playing field. So the highest level is to not get in the courtroom. Once you in there, you
right.
So I used to be one of them folks. Trust me, I was doing this. Like I say, you can check. I got receipts from 2012 when I had the brother Yusuf L. He's still very popular with Tariq Bey. They used to ask me to host their show before it started. He first got started on my show. We talked about sovereignty and all that stuff. This brother's prolific with that, and I know. I've done all the stuff. I don't talk about it a lot. I authenticated my birth certificate. I know the steps to take, but I also know who we dealing with. And that's what I be trying to tell people. Yes, do all the due diligence you want to do with the paperwork, but just know it's like in the NFL. Brett Favre can fail 100 cocaine tests. They ain't gonna be in the news till you fail one marijuana test. Then that's what everybody gonna focus on. We can't do what they do. Mm-hmm. You have to know you can't move the same way. I'm not saying you can't do what they do, but you can't move like they move. You know what I'm saying? You got to move like we're occupied, like people are, like we are in the situation that we are. We are, we talk about this, we are at war or in war, whether you're at war or not. Mm-hmm. We are in war. So, we can't move like that. They're not gonna respect paperwork. You may find a cop that it's like you go out there, one cop just gonna give you a ticket, the other cop might bust you upside the head, and like you just don't know. So it's best for you to move accordingly every time the same way.
And there have been the Native Americans can tell you that they've signed treaties with the Caucasians, and Caucasians didn't honor those treaties.
What treaties have they? It ain't no
right. Exactly.
They don't honor nothing when it comes down to it. They honor that bullet. If you can't protect it, then
bingo. You can't protect. They're gonna take it. That includes your life, your freedom, all of that. So that whole thing. That's all I was looking at. And then people calling. They calling shocked that they're getting treated that way. Really, you're shocked that the police in the United States are treating you a certain way? You're really you're cosplaying. You're cosplaying as something that's not even a black person. More, whatever you want to call yourself in America, more black, Hebrew Israelite, Muslim. These crackers will bust your damn head if you're not able to protect yourself. And if you are there to get your head busted, you already failed the first level of protection. Because you shouldn't have been in the path of that damn stick in the first place. There you go. You know what I mean? Get off the line. If you got off the line, you still failed to avoid the whole thing. So now you got to avoid the actual attack, right? That's how it goes with that.
I have a bit of news on the lighter side. I don't know if you wanted to still cover this, but the YouTube video of the gentleman who gives his address when he's harassing some. I thought it was, of course, it's always interesting, and it kind of makes you feel good to see, someone get their comeuppance or whatever. But it's good to see us come together, and trustfully, it is a precursor to us coming together to do something even more constructive.
I like that they
than just stand in someone's yard.
Well, they didn't just pop up on him. The fool gave his address.
Yeah, and that's why I like that they pulled up on him. I appreciate that, but I do think.
But I want people to pay attention now. The police.
That was for this.
The way they moved on those brothers, the police were escorting that dude out.
Yeah, that's for first protection.
But yes, see, a lot of people haven't seen the full video. The full video, he is all up on this brother. Big belly up on the brother and all that. Should have got his teeth torn out of his mouth when he did that. But
he shouldn't have made it.
Then he's like, what are you gonna do, monkey? And these monkeys over here filming. What are they gonna do, nigger? not gonna do anything, nigga. You'll go to jail, nigga, but nothing will happen to me, nigga. And you know, the brother's like, well, go, you go ahead, you go. And Cracker's like, you know, this isn't Africa, nigga. This is America, monkey. And the cop, one cop shows up. He calls the Cracker by his first name, and he says, "You go home, and we'll have a sit down when we're done." See, a lot of people haven't seen that. That's how much danger we're in when cops get called, and a lot of us call the police, and the police show up. They were buddies with that dude.
Listen, I gotta say this. Right up the street, I got in an accident. I'm riding down Jonesboro, and this I'm getting in this turning. It's a turning lanes. I'm trying to veer off, but this when I veer off, this old white man, he keeps coming. And he hits me in the side of my car. So we pull over, and what's the name of those police? Is they Fairburn? I think Fairburn. Murrow. So the Murrow police, small little police department. So this big old, you know, cornbread eating, you know what I'm saying? White dude, get out the car, young dude. So they saying it's my fault, right? I know it's not my fault. I was in the lane, dude, but I'm like, yo. So it's three old folks, you know what I'm saying, senior citizens. So the old man, I'm telling the guys like, man, I was in the lane. He tried to come over, you know, and he basically hit me or whatever in the side. So the guy, you know, he take my information and he look at the other guy, the old white man. The old white man said, you was at the Christmas party, so and so and so. The first thing he said to the dude, and the guy said, oh no, man, you know, all us Murrow cops, just those big white boys, we just all look the same. And then whatever that dude said, he let the other person be a witness and put him as a witness to the wreck, as basically he had a witness. But the dude in the car can't be another witness for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he tried to list them as that to make it look better. My insurance, when they came, they had to look at it and be like, oh no, you shouldn't have been ticketed, blah, 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 blah. And they had to fix it. That's how the buddy system works, man.
Right.
I just had to mention that because that's actually happened to me in real life. And even though it's something small, it could have been something bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely. See, and this is why we try to avoid trouble if we can. And if we can't, then we have to be skilled enough to take care of trouble and remove it from our space, right? Because we don't like trouble. So we have to be able to skillfully remove it when we have to, right? If we can't avoid it.
Sure.
Another part of this class is we're going to be dealing with self-defense concerns, right? That's the segment that we're in now. So we want you to send in whatever concerns you have. You say, well, I'm concerned. What if somebody has my arm behind my back? I'm on my laying on the ground on my face. They have my arm behind my back and a knee in my back. What do I do? Or like how George Floyd left here, somebody puts a knee in your neck, right? What do you do to get out of that? Or choke, or somebody swinging a baseball bat at your head, or a punch to the nose, whatever it may be. Somebody grabbing my wrist, which is really odd. Now, I'm going to tell you on that, you go to a martial arts workshop, and they name it Women's Self-Defense. One of the first things they'll show is against the wrist grab. And you always ask, and what I like to do is ask sisters, how many been to a workshop? A self-defense workshop for women. A lot of women raise their hand. Then I'll say, from the workshop, from you who've gone to a workshop, how many of you all were taught against a wrist grab? Most of them will raise their hand, if not all, in that workshop, right? You were taught how to get out of a wrist lock. And then I say in life, how many of you have had your wrist grabbed in life? Not many. Probably more brothers grabbed by the police. They're trying to put you in that what's called an assisted wrist lock with the handcuff. They grab you, they put the cuff on, and they put that mug behind your back and make you put the other one behind your back because they've got your shoulder locked, right? What we call a kuka, chicken wing lock. People teach that. In fact, I went to Curves, with another a full instructor who's here, Kunle. He's helping us with tech in the background, right? But we went to Curves in Stone Mountain, and about 400 women there. I said, all right, sisters, first thing we're going to do is get on the ground. And by the time it was about 3-4 women left. I said, oh my God, they're all leaving because they did not want to get on the ground. If you only want to do what's comfortable to you, you're not going to learn to defend yourself, because I've never been in a situation where I had to defend myself when I was comfortable. I've never, oh boy, this is a comfortable fight. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, he's choking me comfortably. Oh boy, this feels good. Oh man, keep going. No, it's not comfortable. So get outside of your comfort zone in here and let's really do work. And on that, when I was pulled into the room, because of course the workshop was done at that point, the manager there pulled me into the room. He said, let me show you something, man. He opens up his wallet. He shows me he has a certificate. I'm a black belt.
Oh, shit.
I said, damn. He said, I've been a black belt for 3 years. I said, oh my God. Woo! 3 years. That is something. And he's looking like, is this guy making mockery of me? Of course I was. So he says, look, what you got to do when you teaching women, man, the first thing you do is you teach them how to get out of a wrist grab. I said, hey, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Excuse my language. Don't excuse my language. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. He, look, what? I said, dude, you've been teaching 3 years. One of my daughters, who's 4, been training for more than 3 years. Clown. You don't know what you're talking about, right? And then I broke down why that is so uncommon for women to learn. When you say, well, why do folks teach it? Because most folks out here teaching you, they don't know much. That's why you go to a class and they're working out. Now, I need to work out more. I need to, I go to the gym to work out, though. But most people teaching you, they have an hour class, 40 minutes of that is workout. You say, well, what's the other 20 minutes? Well, 10 minutes is stretching.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got, how much more time? I got 10 minutes to learn a technique because they don't know many techniques. So they know wrist grab. To them, technique is learning how to punch kick. But how do you apply that in a situation when somebody's trying to take your life?
It reminds me of it's this guy going around. What he does is he finds like MMA fighters, and he gets a random dude off the street to use the fake knife, and he says, he just wants you to stop this attack. And these dudes been MMA fighting all this time. He took it. I don't want to name the art, but he got people that's been in this art that usually people are in before they go to MMA. They've been doing this for 10 years or whatever, and the guy got a knife coming at him, and the guy don't even know what to do. He just like, and they don't know what to do. They attacking the other arm. This arm, the guy's still stabbing them. They try to tackle him to the ground. They getting stabbed. And it's just an example of how some of the stuff, man, most of it is not practical. And they spend years just doing a sport and not realizing that it doesn't have real application when you're out there.
And some people say, well, we don't do sport. Our stuff too deadly to do this, do that. And please look, unfortunately, because most of us, and I'll tell you why this happens. Most of us got involved in martial arts who are over 30.
I just turned 34.
Got it? Or you just turned 30?
Yeah.
I had your age
29.
wrong. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm 15 then. All right, so most of us got involved in martial arts who are over 30 from Bruce Lee. I say over 40 because there's some 30 of us that don't even know Bruce Lee anymore.
Right.
And that's sad because I mean he was brilliant. But most of us got involved because of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was great athlete. He was a great actor, but he was just an actor. And so, and this is no blame on him, we got involved because of somebody that we saw that impressed us in the movies. We never saw Bruce in class or sparring or on the street getting down. We saw him in movies, and that's what was impressive to us. So our whole entry into this thing has been movies. But then you say, well, what about the younger folks?
Fairy tale.
Because the younger folks got involved through the UFC, through MMA, and a lot of sports. The fix is in, folk. Now, there's some real fighters in the MMA. I mean, one of my favorite fighters of all time is Anderson Silva. You know, fighters, period. I mean, boxing, whatever you call it, anything is Anderson Silva. I love him, right? But you mean to tell me, through all the, I've been watching MMA since the early 90s, and rarely do you have, sometimes it happens with two people punch at the same time. It looks very punchy. Poochie, poochie. That's not how real fights go. So whether the fix is in on that fight, whether it's fake or real, it's not how this shit out here gonna go. When you get attacked, it ain't gonna be a fight. A fight is, man, you insulted me. Man, I want to fight you. You say, well, let's do it then, baby. That's an agreement that just happened between the two of us. We have agreed to get down. That's not how it's going to happen out there. It's going to happen. Somebody want to take your shit. They coming at you, and you best be ready. And that's what I want. What are your concerns out here? And we're going to deal with that. And we're going to get you ready. All right? So we want to know what you're specifically concerned with. And each week, we'll look at what you post. And then the next week, we'll deal with one or two of those. Probably one, so we can really go into it, get down with it, okay? So right now, the self-defense concern, since this is our inaugural episode, our inaugural class, we're going to deal with covers. So in the technique of the week, on the Remix Morning Show, we first started off dealing with covers. Why? Because our instinct is a ball comes at you or whatever. You look out, people. Whoa, that's our natural instinct. And so we're going to take that natural instinct, tweak it a little bit, and use that to protect you. But it doesn't just protect you; it also threatens your opponent, so they move up off you, so they're not hitting as strong, and you also not just threaten. It can absolutely hit them because every block is a
strike.
Every strike is a
block.
Okay. Every strike is a block, but every block is also a strike. So while you're defending yourself, you're also attacking your opponent. So we're about to get into that, how to really go into it. Okay. We're going to deal with that. Right now, we're going to go over to Cody Whiteman. He's going to help us with that, and we will see you in just a second. Can you pause?
That's what I was wondering. Do we really pause?
All right. So now we're going over to Cody Whiteman. And we're going to deal with these covers. Now, well, Cody Whiteman's brother just fell. All right, so right now, we're going to deal with the covers, what they're fully for. So, when you cover, if he throws a hook, I can cover. Throw with the other hand, I can cover. And I'm coming at him, right? He's throwing a hook. He can throw a straight. I can cover. He throws a straight. I cover. And his hand can get injured from that, so I can block it straight. He throws an overhand. I cover. He throws an overhand. I cover. So the straight, the overhand, the hook, you can cover against. So you don't have to be thinking of, against the hook, I do this. Against the straight, I do this. Against the overhand, I do this. That's too much thinking. If you're thinking, doing a violent encounter, then you're probably going to be shedding blood, okay? So don't think, train it so it becomes your instinct. When you cover, you marry your hand to your face. My elbow should be at the height of my brow. So I've dropped my chin. Okay. Let's start over from the beginning of a proper fighting position. So in a proper fighting position, you stand that way, I'll stand this way. Your strong side is forward. His left side is forward. My right side is forward. You drop your chin. You raise your shoulder. So I'm a righty. My right side is forward. My right hand is extended. This hand is at my chin, my left, my rear hand. So I raise my front shoulder. So now the punch comes there, it's there. So you already are set to protect yourself based on the way you stand. My fist is under my chin. Okay? So you can shoot straight forward from there. My fist is under my chin. Normally when we punch, our hands move inside. They move inside. So my hand is at my chin already. It's there, boom, it's already inside. So I've already broken down some of that time. Okay? You can't really see the feet right now, but know that if Kunle can show the feet, my heel is raised, my back heel is raised, my front foot, the toe is turned slightly in. My toe of my rear is not in line with my heel back here. I'll be off balance. It's out. Okay? One way you can do that is you can make a horse stance if you want. I hate to say that because we don't do a horse stance, right? Because we want to always be mobile. And then I turn towards my opponent. My toe is slightly turned in. My feet, I part my toe. It can be in line with my instep on the other foot. Just don't have it in line with your heel. You'd be off balance. So have that. You can have that in line with your other toe or your instep. That foot is straight. The other foot slightly turned. My knees are bent. The reason why we're like this is because with my toe turned, it cuts off my groin from kicks. It angles them off. If my foot is turned straight, the kick comes right there. Boop! Hits me in the groin. No fun. Here, it angles off. It does not reach my groin. Okay? My knees are bent. If your legs are straight like that, stop being lazy. Bend those knees. Now, if you can bring that up, Kunle. My chest is square. So with lefties like this, we have to watch to make sure not dipping that. That's just a lefty thing. So we watch, we train that out of them. So shoulders have to be square. Monique, if you come across here, take a fighting position. She's a righty. So the shoulders are square. Couple reasons why the shoulders are square. One, she can punch with either hand quickly, right, and it didn't reach. If I'm back like this hand reaches, this hand would have to go too far. And it telling her, you know this one's coming if that hand's back, okay? Why the strong side is forward is because, one, this is our more coordinated side, and we deal with tools a lot. So if I pull a tool, I don't want to pull, I will use my non-dominant hand, but my dominant hand is more able to deal with it. Now, also, if she jabs with her strong side, he jabs with his strong side, that jab is not just an annoyance, like a sticking them and you're cutting them. You're now trying to knock him out, break something with that hand. And because this is your non-dominant side, it's not as strong, so it gets the benefit of traveling a further distance. And so now it's stronger because it travels a further distance. All right? So that position makes total sense. So now, when you cover, and we shift our hips when we punch, right? So you get more of a hit. Now when you cover, you do the same thing. And you look under or through here. If you can't bring your elbow all the way up because of tension here, you may have been injured. You can bring it to your nose. You got to at least be able to bring it to your nose. Then, right there, it's hard to see. You look right through this space here. If you bring it up, you can look through underneath, okay? Because your head is, your chin is tucked anyway. Don't look down at the ground like this. Bring your neck back, your chin back to your chest. And so shift, cover, 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 cover. Good. And that's how you're doing that. So if I come at him, cover, 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 cover. I cannot smack him because he's covering himself. If I come at her, cover, 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 cover. And that shift also doesn't let me get a full hit. I glance off, which is frustrating for me as a person wanting to attack, and that frustration allows you to take advantage of it. I'm here, boom, but I'm shifting off. I can't get that punch in because I'm mad, and I'm shifting off and getting madder and madder. And that is when you attack, make your attack on them because you're coming closer to them, right? You're moving in on them. And his anger, he's not even seeing that you're moving in close. He's just still trying to knock your block off until you touch that chin, and then oh snap. You know, with us as combatants, we realize, oh, he just moved in on me. And so we moving off. That's going to stop even a trained combatant even more so because we know to disengage. Otherwise, if I throw another punch while you're closing in on me, I'm going to eat that elbow. Okay? So it's one of the safest things you can do. Just throw those covers up. Throw those covers up. But when do you throw the covers? Of course, when they throw the punch at you. Of course, right? But you can also do it when you're grabbed after the fact. So say if he was trying to grab and choke. He's trying to choke here. I want to be choked. Go ahead, choke. Tap. Okay, I'm tapping because he really choked. Good. That's what I was looking for. But the one thing I don't want him is to choke me and push me backwards because he pushed me to a wall. He can now choke the hell out of me or I fall down, bust my head, whatever. Right? So when he chokes, I step back. Either foot, doesn't matter. I step back. So if I'm in my fighting position, which would be odd when they choke me, I'm in the fighting position, but I can step back because that foot's already back, my left foot, or I can bring my right foot back. Now, this is the only time that we step back. We really step back. But if we grab, we may have to. So I step back, and now my cover comes up. Both can come up, or I know I'm turning this way. This cover comes, and I turn. I stop him from pushing me back by stepping back deep. Cover comes up. I can't touch my face. But I want to, so I turn and I'm trying to touch my face.
My wrist,
and his wrist got locked. He had to let me go. Okay. Now, homie Nikki, if you can come in, you can do that, so you can see it's not just me. Grab her. Now, if you feel yourself choking, you can't get out. Tap. And so you step back with one foot first, step back deeper, so he can't push you back. Step back, and now lift the elbow and then turn. Don't even come down on it. So you don't even have to come down on it. He's grabbing, so you don't have to come down like this. A lot of us, we're programmed to think, I gotta come down. No, you just come across. Keep that up high, because he may throw a punch after that. Keep that high. Exactly. Keep it up, and you'll be right out of it. Grab it.
The step back is because I'm going to come with force like this.
Right, exactly.
That first step back.
There you go. It's just that simple. Try it again. Don't bring it down. Just bring it right across. Keep it up to your brow.
All right. In case y'all haven't been privy to our classes, but may look like I'm really coming to her, is because I am kind of really coming to her, because we have to simulate these things as best we can. You know,
that's the only way you're gonna learn it. Otherwise, you get out there and be like, "Oh, the shit don't work." No, it didn't work because you wasn't trained right.
Right. Okay.
Good.
We'll still drop those.
Try, keep it up. Keep that elbow up. One more time. There we go. So that lets them go. That's one of the first things we also have to teach folks is if they're grabbing what you think the body should do, it's not what the body. So we're talking. Let me get this away from me. Even though she's trained for years, right? We want to do that. We don't have to. We just do that. Now, another thing that what I like to do is I don't do that one, but I want you all to do that. When we talk about what the body can do, that goes to training experience, all of that, right? What the body wants to do and what the body can do are two different things. The body wants to do something, and you'll learn after a while what the body wants to do is what you should be doing as long as it's proper, so you got to be trained properly. It can be here's too easy for me. So if your elbows are up like that, elbows are up, get out of here. That's too easy. Yeah, now he really choking. And so for me, I want to touch his throat and I want him off me. This is ashe. And we'll do little ashe tricks, but not many, because I don't want you thinking this is no chi master trick stuff. You can do this easy one day. Just look at him. And you can make him leave off of you like that, because you want him to leave. Now, if you don't really want him to leave, he ain't gonna leave like that. Your intention has to guide your ashe. But say you can't get your arm up, you got stiff arms. You can't get them up. I mean, you may have been injured, may have been born a certain way. You can't lift those arms. So now, act like we call it the potato chip, because it's like you got one potato chip in your hand, and you put it on the side, lift up real quick. You put it on the side of his neck. Put it on the side of his neck. Bring the arm down so you can see. You put it right on the side, right there. The side of his neck, right there. So, you just touch that right there. So, but you don't just do that and stop. You say, ha ha. So, now you take control of it. So what I did was I pushed it, it went like that. And then I pulled him in. So this hand that was inside, I swoop around, it's outside now. Okay? Now I've got control of him, and I can take him down, or I can boom, hit him, do whatever it is I want to do.
That's it.
Okay? And then, so the guy who told me, get out of the wrist grab, if he tries to get out of this wrist grab, he's done by the time he gets out of that.
Don't get in that wrist grab.
So, right, avoidance is the what? Highest level of self-defense. Because this is a bad day. And the way he got there, though, was trying to choke me. And that's what you want. When a person tries to attack you, they should be having a bad day after, not you. Okay? But if you don't act, then you are going to have a bad day. Okay? So that is the covers. I want you to work them. You cover against the punches. You also cover against the chokes. Okay? And that, if it's put on you, you can also stop that before. He's reaching to my neck. Well, that's in that straight angle like a punch, so I can cover to stop him from getting there. Okay? And then from there, I can throw that hammer out, or I can cover, come back with a punch or whatever, right? Or whatever it is I'm going to do. Just cover. He's coming to reach to my throat. Boom. I go ahead and feed that to his neck. Okay? Or to his chin, which is what I got. Then I come back. Boom. Hit to the solar plexus. If it's a shorter person, he's reaching to her neck. She comes with it before he gets there. Cover. Step towards him. Cover. And cover again. Whoop. Cover again. There you go. And cover again. So she had to work her way in. She had to work her way in with her elbows. Because her elbows aren't as long as my elbows, right? She can't go up way up here. So she had to work through hitting his arms and then getting into his body.
Which is still good because she does the delivery system, so she attacking that.
Right, she's attacking the delivery system so it can't grab her. He was not able to grab her, and then she attacked his body. This is what you want to be able to do. All right? So that is the first concern that we'll deal with in this first class. Now we're going to ask a couple questions because I saw that somebody had asked a question of Joy White. Okay, y'all can stay over there with Joy, and well, actually, y'all can come back, and I'll come over there because there's a question that folks had. Somebody wants to got a question for Joy. Let's see who this is here. Not Joy. I'll say Joy. I'm sorry, Joy. I'm sorry, Cody. I keep calling him Joy White because it's all white to me.
Cody. My name's Cody.
Oh, sorry, Cody. It's all Cody, Chad, Joey. Sorry, same to me. But Ask Cody is going to be a segment. So, Cody, this question comes from Larry Lipshits. It comes from Larry Lipshits. He says, bro, how would you attack a black who's sitting in a chair or wheelchair in your class at school, your church, or your favorite restaurant? He said, bro, how would you attack a black? Obviously, this is a white dude himself, old Larry Lipshits. How would you attack a black who's sitting in a chair or wheelchair in your class at school, your church, or your favorite restaurant?
I tell you that. I tell you, Larry, I like that question. I tell you, Larry, I like that question a lot because what we like to do, Larry, we like to get them sitting down. That's when they basically defensive, Larry. A lot of them they don't know what to do, Larry, when we get them like that. So what we do, Larry, we like to creep up behind, Larry. That's what we like to do. And, most of them, they ain't gonna have nothing on them. Ain't no protectors, no pencils, no pens, no weapons on them, nothing like that. Nothing they can use as a tool. Like, so we'll reach up on behind them, grab them on up, yank them on up, Larry. That's what we do to them real nice, like, especially they rolling in them wheelchairs. Like, we love them, Larry. They they're waiting for us. We just go out there and get them. We hurt them up real bad, man. Tell you, you love it, man. Just go grab them up, man. Yank them up from behind, man. Drag them on out of there, man.
Okay, see. All right. So, Cody's telling you to grab them up. Can you hand me that chair, please? All right. Cody said we're defenseless when we're sitting down. You just grab them up, right? So, let me put my back to Cody real quick because that's how scared I am of Cody. So now, when you're sitting, okay, and I'll move at an angle. So that way you can see. All right, you're sitting. You see me, Cody? Like this? All right, so now, Billy, can you come around, sir? Now, at this point, when you're sitting, if you can, double cover if somebody is trying to grab you, punch you, or what have you, right? If you only have one hand, the hand that you have, go ahead and put it to the center. So you bring that hand up to the center. It's at the height of my nose. If he comes in and tries to punch me with either hand, and I'm sitting, I'm here. He punches with the other, I'm here, right? You can't shift with it, so you bring both up because you don't know what he's going to be coming with. If he's trying to punch straight, and I can turn a little, I can go here, or I can just close my hand to this to the best of my ability, right? So that's number one. So the first thing, he goes to, and if I can stand, so if I'm just sitting, and I can stand, which I can, and then I'll get to, if you're in a wheelchair, you can use legs, right? He punches, I go here, and keeping this up, I move towards him. I stand up towards him. But even if he punches again, he gets hit. I jam that into him. Once I jam that into his body, Then my hands come down to push him away. Right? You okay?
Yeah.
Or I'm here and I push and I grab with the other if I can. Now I throw knees. 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 When we throw our knees as well, we do not throw a knee like YMCA karate. Yeah. Our knee comes from the biggest joint first. The biggest joint in our body, the biggest joint that we're throwing is our hip. The way you throw your hip is you thrust your butt forward. Okay? So we throw our hip, and then our second size joint comes the knee, and then the ankle points. That's how we throw a knee. It's more of a punch than it is bringing the knee up like that. It punches. If I want to go higher, I just lean back slightly and punch. Okay, I throw my hip, and then the rest follows. Okay, so I can throw the knee that way. Or if I can't throw knees, once I come up here, I throw that hammer in, and then I can throw the punch. Or I throw that hammer, I throw another hammer. Okay, or I throw that hammer, I throw that palm to his ear. Hammer, punch, hammer, palm, hammer, hammer. Do it with me. Hammer, punch, hammer, palm, hammer, hammer. Ominique, if you can sit here. Delay. You're going to attack. You're going to bring up both hands on Ominique in covers. And then you're going to stand up and bring those covers into his body. Don't hit him too hard because it'll jam him up real bad. So punch. And now you stand up into him as even if he's throwing the other one. Boom. And now the hammers fly. Hammer, 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 punch. Well, bring that punch down. Bring your elbow down. Bring your elbow down. So your elbow's down. Don't punch over his head. Punch here. Because over his head, his elbow will block your punch. Here, or punch, palm, elbow can come, hammer, hammer, palm. If you punch to his ear, punch to his jaw. Good. Hammer, punch again. Hammer, punch. Hammer, palm. To that ear, yes. Hammer, hammer. Hammer, hammer. Good. Go again. She's sitting.
Okay.
She's throwing the knees now. Good. Good. Oh, oh God, oh my God. All right, goodness. So once again, she's sitting, he's trying to now choke, and she does the same thing. Both hands come up, she steps into him, boom, and then gives him the hammers. Hammer, 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 punch. Hammer, palm. Good. Excellent. All right. So, now, you see that, Cody? So we're not useless or endangered, Cody. You see that? All right. So now I can't use my legs to stand up and do that. Cody, you watching? He punches again. I throw the hands up. Now I have to bring him to me. So this comes down, pull, boom. I pull him. Once I hit him here, so pull this to your waist. Hit. And now this comes over and you bring his head into another cover. Cover. Boom. But that elbow now goes into the side of his neck. Hit. Hit. I'm hammering. 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 Okay? He's here. I don't let him go away. Pull him close. Hammer. Hammer. Hammer, because he'll just stand up and he may try to attack again, and I got to do this again. I don't want to do it again. Hammer, I've got him right here. My hand is hooked. It's like a C. It's hooked, and I'm trying to touch my own chest. I won't get there because his arm is there. But this is to hold him in. You come around. You can see my hand is holding. Bring that down. You can see my hand is holding him right here. You can bring that back up now.
And I don't have much to, I got this hand free. I don't have much to.
And if he tries, I'm hammering his neck. I'm hammering.
Yeah.
I'm hammering. I'm hammering. I'm hammering. And it's beautiful because now he's right here at my knee. So I hammer. I wait. He, of course, course he's going to try to get it. Boom! I give him that knee, then I hammer him again. Hammer him again. Boom! Hammer, 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 hammer. And look mean like that too. Hammer, 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 hammer. Boom! Knee, if you can use that leg. If you cannot use the leg, just hammer, hammer, hammer. And you can still use your leg like this. Bring your hands up and boom! And yes, I have my tool. Now, of course, if I couldn't use my legs, I'd have been pulled the tool. We're going to get to that. But my tool here, that's just because I showed that because, Cody said that we are useless. Now, this is a real tool, so don't move, belay, don't move. This is a real one. So I let him bring that head, or bring his head up. I go ahead and boom. Okay. I feed this to the top of his head through there. You ain't got to go that far, because that's kind of brutal. So you get the soft spots. Yes, you can cut his ear. Okay, I'm flipping it over, so it's not the blade. You can cut his ear. Okay, you can cut his arm. He stands up. If you have, because he was trying to hurt you real bad. He probably trying to kill you. You can slit his throat. That's if you have a knife. If you do not, you have just a marker. Let me see. Once he's down, you can just hammer. Instead of hammering with your fist, you hammer with your marker. Okay? Hammer with your marker. Hammer behind the ear.
Ink pen. Ink
pen, yes. You can, now ink pen you can't even break. But you can hammer to the top of his head with this. If that's all you got, believe me, like my old man used to always say, it's going to do something. Hold this to you, and you just hammer. I wouldn't hammer to the top of his head. The head is hard. I don't want to just give him hematomas, just knots. I want to give him hickeys on his head. I hit him behind that ear. Oh, make it a bad day. And then hit him in the back of his neck. Oh, my gosh, it's a real bad day. Oh, boy. You can hit his kidneys if your arms are long enough. If not, don't worry about that. Just work right up here. And just like you're hammering a nail into wood, go ahead and hammer, 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 hammer at the softest parts you can see. Because behind every soft part in the head, there's nerves, nerve plexuses, there's spine. Okay? But if you're getting into the hard bone, you can make a bad, I can crack the bone in his head, but a lot of you may not be able to do that. So don't hit with that. Now me, I would crack it just to see what happens when I crack that bone that's not protecting his brain no more. All right, so just going to fly. I'm an old man. I just go. If he punches, you see, Cody, I got. If I pull this out before, like, sir, please don't, please. All I own is this marker. Is this all you want, please, sir? He punches at me, and I'm here. The cover comes, and then boom! I jam that boom into his body. Right? Boom! Boom! I'm hitting to the best. Get up off me! Get up off me! And hopefully he runs. If this dude, I've seen him, he's aggressive, he's been walking through the crowd or whatever, he punches at me, sir, please! I go for the pull. Boom! I go for the pull, and now I go ahead and put him to sleep with this marker, okay? But if you cover and you can't get up, you can hit that. That's his delivery system, right? Hit his other hand if it comes your way. Do boom, hit that. Boom. Then start hitting it when he's ouch, ouch, ouch. So you can damage so he can't hit you again. Hit his hip well, hit his knee, do whatever it is you have to do to get yourself safe. Okay. We're going to sit down now and I'm going to discuss with you why this is so meaningful to me. This situation, particularly when Cody asked about in the chair, the wheelchair. And I'll talk to you in just a second. We're moving over now back to our seats for class. I know we've gone over a little bit. This is our first episode. So this is the last thing I'll say on this. My mother was in church, and some of y'all know this story. My mother was in church. She's sitting there, a crazy dude. She's in the front. She's in a wheelchair. She's been in a wheelchair since 96. Half her body's paralyzed. And crazy dude comes in. He's sitting in the front staring at my mother. She's like, something's going on with this guy. He jumps up in the church. She goes to a big church with security, all of that. All the security was outside. They were drinking hot chocolate. They weren't in there protecting anybody. They were out drinking hot chocolate, joking. He says, stand up to my mother. She says, well, I can't, sir. Unfortunately. He said, oh, yes, you can. He grabs my mother by the collar and pulls her up. And she only got half her body. Otherwise, my mother back in the day, she'd have put it on him, right? But she's struggling to try to get loose. And you gonna walk? You gonna walk? And everybody there is panicking in the church. So 3 men finally jump up. One person I knew personally, he said he thought he was in the back and he thought people were joking. I don't know why he couldn't see my mother being lifted out of a chair and screaming for help. And so 3 other men finally go and let her go. And he boom pushes her. And thank God the chair wasn't locked, or it would have flipped. She said he threw her so hard it would have flipped if it was locked, and then she would have ended up really hurting herself. But it slammed backwards, into a bunch of other chairs, and then they subdued him. My older sister, got the police report, and I told her I'm just curious. I want to get the police report myself. So can I look at it? Said, no, we can't let you look at the police report. Everything's fine. We got it. I said, no, let me handle this. My older sister's in California, so let me handle it. They knew her, my 2 sisters. I'm the youngest of the 3 of us. My 2 older sisters would not give me that police report because that had the guy's name on it. And you pull my mother from a chair, well, I would have had to, I'd have to hug you a little bit, show you some love. Okay. And if you're watching this show and I ever find out who you are, I'm going to show you some love. Now, so when Cody was asked that question and he answered the way he did, we have to make sure, because we pray none of us ever end up in a wheelchair, but things could happen, car accident, anything, we could temporarily be in it or permanently. We pray that doesn't happen to us, but be prepared if it does. But the one thing that we always are sitting down somewhere. We always sit in a restaurant, or like you said, a restaurant. I'm never going to be in a church probably unless I'm there as a guest, but sitting all kinds of places. I'm sitting down at home working on the computer. You gotta deal with that. We're sitting down right now. If somebody comes in, and we don't have time to get up, well, we got to be able to work from here. Okay. And this desk too, we got to be able to work using the desk, and perhaps we'll show that one day of pulling the person into the desk and using the desk as a tool. Okay. Be prepared wherever you are. Be prepared wherever you go. We're going to try our best to get you there, okay, as we continue to prepare ourselves. So thank you for joining us for our first warrior class. Be safe out there. Stay black, or whatever it is you are. Peace.
Peace.